I have a story.
Okay.
I'm in West Texas, where this family just lost their daughter to an opiate overdose.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, it's not someone I was close to.
But you flew to Texas for it?
Yes. It was a girl I hooked up with a few times. Her family thought that we were more serious than I did.
I've heard so much about you.
I've heard, yeah.
I can't thank you enough for taking the time to speak with me today. I know you've probably heard this a lot today, but I'm a huge fan. The Office has been such a positive presence in my life. Like, it's just so, and I think you're just incredibly talented. So it's a huge honor. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's especially a huge honor to get to talk to you about this incredible thought-provoking movie, which I know at its core, it's essentially about connection, which the world is really lacking today, as we tend to judge instead of connect. I was wondering, what do you think is the best way to connect with someone?
To be in the same place at the same time. And I think these days we slip into not getting enough of either of those things. We're definitely not in the same place enough, especially during COVID, but we're also not in the same time enough. You text me, I text you back in an hour. You watch a movie, I say, oh, I'll watch it tomorrow and tell you what I thought, and I think being in the same place in the same time is the way to connect. And then, when my character is forced to do that by being around a crowded dinner table in a place without cell reception in some parts, you get to see what that does to people, which is a very positive thing, even though it's also pretty awkward sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people don't even talk on the phone anymore. It's literally, they have the convenience of texting.
Yeah.
But, in the film, your character, Ben, is really great at asking questions and getting people to talk. And so since you were the interviewer in that film, and now you're the one being interviewed during this PA tour, I was wondering, which do you think is better, being the interviewer or the interviewee, and why?
I think the interviewer. And
really?
To
Why
me, because I already know everything about myself, sometimes I'll be on a first date or, at the beginning of a business meeting. And I ask so many questions that, about, 30 minutes in, the other person starts thinking like, wait, are you a con artist? Why have you not told me anything about you? But I just feel like if you can get away with it, wouldn't you rather hear someone else's story?
She was murdered. What? And the two of us are going to avenge her death.
So as like a personal boundary, I don't avenge deaths. But here's what I can do. I'm gonna record everything that you think happened to Abilene. And we'll put it on a podcast and we'll see where it leads.
What evidence does he have that it was a murder?
Nothing.
Well, I also love how the film touches on how everyone has to have a take on something. Otherwise, it's like you don't have a voice, which is so true more than ever today. Because I feel like whether it's politics or a trial, like I'm seeing everyone's opinions on this. Do you think it's happening more today because social media is making it so accessible, or is there another reason? And do you think it's a good or bad thing?
I think it's a very bad thing that we feel like we need a take to be a valid person. I think it's great to have takes, but those takes should be not about validating your existence. They should be about expressing who you are or figuring out who you are. And in real life, I find, I have members of my family that at Thanksgiving, if you disagree with them, they'll immediately find where you do agree. Online, those same people would cancel each other.
Yes.
Because we spend so much time online, and the only way to get attention online is to say something bold or provocative. And since we confuse attention for connection, we end up, without even realizing it, doing that. In real life, you don't do that. In real life, you actually listen and figure things out together. So I do think that's a very big issue today.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think people definitely wouldn't say the things that they say online if they were in person.
What's this podcast about?
A new American reality where people invent these conspiracies.
You got deep state, pill pushers, cartels, the law.
Because the truth is too hard to accept. My Prius exploded.
Oh my God. What if you were driving a real car with gas and stuff?
One of my favorite lines in the movie is life is all regrets, make them count. That one really stayed with me. I was wondering, do you have a regret in your life that you had, or I'm sorry, has something good happened from a regret in your life that has stayed with you today?
Yeah, I mean, really everything bad that's ever happened in my life led to everything good that's ever happened in my life. So, everyone says, I got fired and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm like, that's the best thing? Like, that sounds like you must have a pretty bad life. That's what I thought when I was a kid. Like, that was the best thing. Oh, no. But of course, now I understand that, the universe, there was a quote on the bulletin board in the office of the TV show. And it backstage, it said, the universe tells you what it wants from you. I thought, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It sounded very spiritual. And, I came to think that if something isn't a fit, and now I realize there's a lot of sort of proverbs and quotes saying exactly that, but I think it's a cliche because it's true. So, if I didn't get one job, it led to The Office. And if COVID hadn't happened, I wouldn't have gotten close to certain people in my life I think every regret I've made count. And boy, do I have some.
Yeah. And I mean, being from Texas, I just have to say, I think your portrayal of West Texas was very accurate. I think it was
great. What part are you from?
Dallas, but I've been to, Abilene and Lubbock and, Midland and all those, even though I was trying really hard to figure out where the movie was set. But I mean, there's a lot of things though that like Dallas could relate to with that too. But I know that you have mentioned that visiting Texas kind of blew your mind. And I was just wondering, what about Texas stood out to you the most?
The friendliness and the warmth and how much that's in contrast to the image that Texas projects to the world. Texas is all about don't mess with Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, all the guns, all the trucks. It projects such an intimidating image. And, I took it at its word. I was like, all right, I hear you. You are scary. I will not mess with you, sir. And then when I got here, I've never been treated with more warmth and compassion and open-mindedness and not judgment at all. And in fact, my character in the movie is the most judgmental one. And he's the one that kind of needs to be melted by the love and truth that he has shown of these people's lives. So that was the biggest paradox to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm glad Texas did you right.
Yeah. I hope I did it right.
Yeah. I think you did.
What if she was murdered?
This just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Looks like 2 pairs of Prince cowboy boots.
Calling out an APB to find 2 men wearing cowboy boots.
Well, now I wanted to play a little game with you. It's just kind of a rapid fire related to the film and yourself. So basically they're kind of like, would you rather? You just have to answer the question and then tell me why you picked that choice.
Okay.
All right. So would you rather eat at McDonald's or Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Really? Why?
Because the menu is much more interesting and complex.
Okay. So you did actually eat Whataburger.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you rather have as your wingman? John Mayer or Boyd Holbrook?
Ooh, John Mayer, because the game's going to come to you if you're standing next to John Mayer.
All right. And would you rather be made a fool of in front of tons of people at a rodeo or have your rental car explode in front of you?
Oh boy. I would rather be made fun of in front of a rodeo just because I've done so much stand-up that I've already been booed in Texas. So I already know what that's like. The devil.
Have you really been booed in Texas?
I opened for Taking Back Sunday in their early days, and the crowd didn't even think they were going to see a comedian. And boy, were they pissed that I was not the band. True story. I think it was at SMU maybe or something.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't imagine how they react to a comedian, but that's great. This is in reference to a tweet you made a while back. So I was wondering, which film do you think is better, Jurassic Park or The Purge?
Jurassic Park. The Purge is a great genre movie, but Jurassic Park is actually really profound.
Yeah. Do you still say Jurassic Park even as a whole with everything they've come out with and for Purge as a whole?
I mean the original
Just
Michael
the
Crichton
original.
book turned Steven Spielberg movie. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And finally, you've proven you're a very multi-talented person. So I'm wondering, which have you enjoyed the most? Writing, directing, acting, or punking?
Punking. Thanks for bringing up my original Ashton Kutcher pairing. To me, I love pranks.
Yeah.
They're so hard to come up with, you know?
Oh, God.
And so I remember brainstorming with friends in high school and college, like, we got to come up with a prank just because they're so much fun, but they're really hard to come up with a good one. And so the idea that there was this whole writing staff devoted, you know, full time to inventing pranks and setting them up, I couldn't believe my luck that I got to be a part of that.
No, that was seriously like revolutionary when that came out, especially when you guys were doing it. It was truly incredible. It was, yeah. I'm glad you said punking because I actually want to like rewatch those.
Oh yeah, punking is like a hobby compared to.
Do you still do it?
No, and in fact, there was the one negative article I've read about the movie so far said Ashton Kutcher and BJ Novak didn't prank anyone on the set of Vengeance, and I was like, that's true. I guess if you're a Punked fan, you'd be waiting for that. So
yeah.
I wish we, you know, hey, it's COVID. We're lucky enough we got to shoot it. We didn't have time to like, you know, pull a chair out from under Boyd Holbrook, but not that the pranks on Punked were that simple. They were far more elaborate than that. But yes, I think on the next movie we'll have to punk some people.
Yes, you do. You have to bring that back. Well, I think it's awesome that we got to see you guys reunited. And I love the character you had for Ashton Kutcher, because I don't think we've really seen him like that.
No, that was what was so fun for me when I realized I might be able to get him for the role. I thought no one's seen him like this. And we needed someone that could really turn my character's expectations on their head. So a sort of brilliant, insightful Ashton Kutcher character, you know, it's something new in movies.
Yeah, no, for sure. Was that hard to get him for this role, or was it pretty easy?
No, it just happened to be exactly what he was looking for at the time. I think he wanted to play a new type of character. So it happened to fit perfectly, but I couldn't have been any more lucky. I don't think anyone else could have pulled off this role.
No, I don't think so either. I think it was really great. Honestly, I love the film. It was incredible, and they are giving me the rap. So I've really enjoyed talking with you. So just thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be on with you.
Where are you right now?
I'm in an Uber.